Super Smash Bros. Is a paramount piece of gaming culture. When a new entry releases, it is an event. Arguably, each new fighter is an event to some extent. People find different things to enjoy in it. People really like the gameplay to its core, playing competitively or for fun. People like all the single-player content, caring about things like campaigns. People like the hype of a brand new fighter, a brand new addition to the ever-growing roster. The focus of this will mainly be on the last of those reasons. Many characters have been wanted for Smash. Some seem likely to get in one day. Some not so much. But my personal most wanted newcomer is somewhat of an anomaly. Over its run, it's flipped from little to no chance, quite unlikely, likely, all but guaranteed, and is overall somewhat of a coin toss. This is the story of the Rhythm Heaven representative in Super Smash Bros. Before we begin, you may be asking, why Rhythm Heaven? Rhythm Heaven is a rhythm game series by Nintendo, which originated in 2006 on the Game Boy Advance. It is made by the same dev team as the WarioWare series, even having the same artist, Kotakuchi. What makes Rhythm Heaven stand out, to some extent, is celebrity involvement. Believe it or not, the producer of the series, Sunku, is a bit of a star in the East, known for composing and lyrics. The series has been thought about for a fighter for a few reasons. The biggest, in my eyes, is its size. While popularity in the Smash sphere is subjective, and the biggest has a plethora of factors, I can say this. It is the biggest first-party Nintendo series without a fighter, with the exception of Nintendogs and Brain Age, and both of those have an assist even then. And it has more games than Nintendogs and the same amount as Brain Age, ignoring a digital expansion anyway, as Rhythm Heaven has 4 entries and counting. Frankly, whether you are a fan or not, I think Rhythm Heaven is actually a bigger series than you probably realize. For perspective, the best-selling Rhythm Heaven actually sold more than the best-selling Pikmin entry to date. Now, not only is Rhythm Heaven the biggest Nintendo series not playable, bar those two, and having a dog and a floating head playable seems a bit more out there, along with one of the most consistent releases, but it has a lot of potential. Firstly, in terms of representation, Rhythm Heaven would be the first representation of a huge genre, rhythm games. Not only are rhythm games very unique compared to the genres currently in Smash, being entirely revolved around sounds, but rhythm games are huge in Japan. As someone who has been to Tokyo, I can vouch for this. I went to several arcades in hopes of being able to play the arcade Rhythm Heaven, and around 70% of these arcades had a floor dedicated to rhythm games. None had floors dedicated to any other genres. The only specific floors were types of games, like VR, claw machines, and versus games. So I feel rhythm games are absolutely an important genre to see representation in Smash. Definitely within the top 3 genres needing a fighter. The only ones that might be higher are puzzle games and FPS games, and even then, we sort of have the puzzle genre in Dr. Mario, and Splatoon is kinda close to representing FPSs. Visual novels and horror games are up there, but I'd argue rhythm games are more important than those. The only representation rhythm games have in Smash are technically Mario and Persona, but neither of those have their rhythm parts represented at all. The only real representation is a Don-chan taunt on Pac-Man, far from a full picture. Some would seem to think this is because a rhythm fighter, or particularly Rhythm Heaven, would be hard to make a moveset for, but I strongly disagree. If anything, it almost writes itself. Just take a look at the concepts by Kevin Fagarigan. Due to Tengoku releasing before Brawl but after Melee, the discussion has to begin here. Brawl was first revealed at E3 2006, and speculation ran rampant until its eventual release almost 2 years later. Now, it might be a bit biased to use a site like Smashboards, as Tengoku was not released in the States, but people consider Japanese-only games nowadays, so I think it's worth a check. Let me tell you, Brawl speculation was wild. There were, of course, threads for popular characters. Waluigi, Diddy Kong, Little Mac, King Dedede, Ridley. But there was also a lot of third-party talk, like Mega Man, Pac-Man, Sonic, Bill Riser, and such. Even some otter picks, like Tom Nook, Sukapon, or Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. But I guess with Brawl breaking the Nintendo-only rule, people wondered about the video game-only rule. So as such, we have threads from Mickey Mouse, Goku, Pillsbury Doman, what the hell is this shit? So, let's search. There ought to be at least some Rhythm Heaven talk. Right? Well, I got nothing, folks. Someone says, has anyone played Rhythm Tengoku? On some thread about game discussion. On the English stuff, though, it really does seem that no one really wanted Rhythm Heaven. In Brawl, that is. There may be some in Japan, but I'm hesitant to search in another language. But, even if people didn't speculate it, let's take a look at the supplementary content. Based on the timing of release, Rhythm Heaven in Brawl is rather unrealistic as a playable fighter. But, could the timing of others mean a song or sticker or trophy was possible? Now, Mother 3 released the same year, however, that game was in development hell for a while and was an already represented series. The Bit Generation series came out just a few months earlier and has stickers, but there's a surprising lack of Wii-related content, even with stuff already released. So, because of this, I suppose it is not too surprising. Now, a few months after Brawl came out, Rhythm Heaven expanded further. Much further. Rhythm Heaven on the DS was big, especially in Japan. There was also a Wii title, Rhythm Heaven Fever, released before the next Smash came out. Not to mention the franchise began to get nods in other games as well, like there was a Rhythm Heaven Mii Plaza hat, and it had puzzles in the Mii Plaza as well. So, at this point, it seems far more reasonable. Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS and Nintendo Wii U. During Brawl, almost no one considered it, but 2 games later, one fairly successful and a longer time in between announcement and release, things got more intense. At E3 2011, Iwata announced a brand new entry in the Super Smash Bros. Series was in development. This entry was going to be on both the 3DS and the upcoming Wii U. No further details were given at the time. But that being said, even here some Rhythm Heaven talk sparked. Firstly, about a year after the announcement, a rumor popped up. This rumor claimed that the 3DS and Wii U game would have different rosters. The 3DS game would be titled Super Smash Bros. Memories and feature retro fighters, including Mach Rider. The Wii U game was untitled, but it would feature modern characters. The leak said nothing, but considering Rhythm Heaven was a rising series at the time, it could have implied that. But I have no idea if anyone speculated on it in response to this rumor. Things got more interesting as this time, a few people were genuinely speculating a Rhythm Heaven representative. I mainly scoured Smashboards, not the whole internet, as Smashboards is a forum dedicated to Smash. Other things likely had stuff, but this is the quintessential Smash fandom board. Anyway, the first thing I find is someone on Game FAQs. In August 2012, a user known as Kyracy Kid suggested Fever's Marshall be added, and oddly calling him a series mascot, even comparing him to Wario in prowess, which I certainly disagree with, but this user was one of the first people to suggest a Rhythm Heaven fighter be added to the game, so there is that. The first reply says no, just no. However, further replies increased support. Someone said they love Rhythm Heaven, but they find that the bartender would be a better choice. I'm guessing they mean the barista. Someone replies saying yes, and then someone says they'll compile images for a moveset and saying they like it if, along with him, Karate Joe was an assist trophy. After this, things slowly pick up a bit. Next, a thread is made on Smashboards by user Yitsol on November 23rd, 2012. They say they'd like the addition of a Rhythm Heaven rep, and the only choice they can think of is Marshall. A few members begin to say they'd expect or even prefer it to be like Animal Crossing, getting a stage, an assist trophy, songs, but no fighter. Talk begins about its popularity and expectations, and someone says it's big in Japan but not here, so they are 100% sure a stage will happen. People then bring up Karate Joe. People debate over Animal Crossing and Smash. Remember, at this time all that Sakura had said was that they didn't seem like they would be willing to fight. There's not much talk for now, but soon enough the game is seen. In June 2013, the game was unveiled. It kills the arguments of the last thread in obscurity, as not only is Animal Crossing given a rep, but so is Wii Fit. On July 7th, 2013, a support thread for Karate Joe pops up. The replies are mainly supportive, and people think it's plausible, but likely will not happen. Some do have higher hopes, and some say they'd prefer other reps, though it would still be cool. Some of these folks are the same as the prior thread, giving a different perspective. It seems Wii Fit Trainer and Villager have changed people's view to an extent. People are still almost certain on stage their songs. On August 7th, a thread for Rhythm Girl popped up. People in this thread are more doubtful than the ones in the Karate Joe thread, yet still refer to Rhythm Heaven in general. In January 2014, a thread for Marshall popped up. People were mainly supportive and saw it as plausible, especially due to how the series has been developing. Anyway, something is going on behind the scenes during this. Something humongous. Prior to E3 2013, Sal Romano, runner of a video game news site focused on the East, known as Gematsu, got an email from someone claiming to know info about the roster of Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS. Romano posted this list on Game FAQs as an unlikely prediction. This claimed Little Mac, Pac-Man, Animal Crossing Guy, Mega Man, Wii Fit Trainer, and a Mii are in. To his surprise, at E3, 3 of them were revealed, and 2 of them were riskier choices, as Wii Fit Trainer was just an odd, not very speculated choice, and Sakurai said that the villager could not work during Brawl, saying he could not fight. The last character, Mega Man, was very much wanted, but he was also a bit in the air due to Capcom often neglecting the character in recent years. Due to this, including Wii Fit, Sal was convinced. The leak had a decent bit of talk, and at each reveal, Sal expected a character from the leak. Rosalina was shown throwing a wrench, but Sal thought he may just have missed one. Then, things got crazy. February 14th, 2014, a direct aired, and people thought, rightly so, a new Smash character would be revealed. Being on Valentine's, people thought it may be a love-related character, perhaps a duo of 2 characters a la the Ice Climbers, or even 2 characters at once. The most popular speculation was Diddy and Dixie Kong. They were planned to be a duo in Brawl. Some thought Diddy would be reworked to be with Dixie like initially planned, and others thought that this would reveal not only Diddy Kong's return, but the addition of Dixie Kong. Well, the character was not them, but Little Mac. The anonymous leaker had got another correct guess, but this one was speculated a decent amount, so some saw it as a lucky shot. On April 4th, 2014, a Smash Bros. Direct was announced, set to air April 8th. This direct caused a big burst of speculation, particularly towards Palutena, as she had been leaked and arguably teased. On April 7th, a day before the direct, the anonymous source made a claim. Pac-Man and the Miis are still coming, and, in addition, he unveiled 5 more fighters. A Pokemon from X and Y, Palutena from Kid Icarus, Chrom from Fire Emblem Awakening, Shulk from Xenoblade Chronicles, and the Chorus Kids from the Rhythm Heaven franchise. On April 8th, during the direct, Greninja was announced, a Pokemon from X and Y. Here, the leak really picked up speed, with numerous media outlets covering the leak. Soon, a thread for the Chorus Kids was made. Unfortunately, this leak gave lots of detractors, saying what would they even do and such. Some also debated if they were the best choice, as the Chorus Kids aren't necessarily meant to be main characters. I'd say, well, they aren't the best choice, they fit enough, as they are on the box of the DS game. In a fair bit of the marketing, they are the second game in the DS title, they do have a sequel, Marshall is one of them, and they are often referenced in WarioWare and such. Overall, it's likely if they were to get in Smash prior to the leak's attention, they would have been chosen due to being a bit of an icon from the DS game, the best-selling one. Anyway, while there were many detractors, many thought that there were too many correct guesses and it had to be right. Some believed the leak but thought the Chorus Kids were a wrench thrown in to cover up, or a simple misunderstanding, such as them being an assist trophy. Many just could not believe that these characters would actually be added, especially due to not understanding how truly big Rhythm Heaven is, especially in Japan. Admittedly, a lot of its appeal was to more casual gamers, but with Wii Fit, that's hardly a true detraction. After this, due to increased attention, almost every fake leak included most if not all of these characters. This gave a great increase in attention to the chorus kids. Many images, and even some videos, popped up, even a full-on trailer. In addition, many fan roster predictions had them now. On May 23rd, Shulk's English voice actor tweeted out, "Done some voiceover work on several very exciting games so far this year. I'll tell you what they are when I know my balls won't be cut off for telling." Considering the seriousness of having his balls cut off, many jumped the Smash, though others claimed it was a stretch and expecting everything to be Smash was selfish. Regardless, E3 made this leak even more rock solid. The day before Nintendo's 2014 E3 presentation, Sal's source gave even more info. It reconfirmed all 5 characters, including the chorus kids, claimed that there would be post-launch DLC characters, claimed that the Miis would be called the Mii Fighters, and that the development team was split on Ness versus Lucas, with Lucas likely going to get the axe. During E3, the digital event confirmed the addition of Palutena and the addition of the Mii Fighters, meaning not only has this leak got every fighter thus far barring Rosalina right, but it predicted the title of the Miis. Later that night at a Smash Bros. Roundtable event, Pac-Man was revealed. Only 3 fighters from the leak remained: Chrom, Shulk, and the chorus kids. In addition, at E3, something huge happened for Rhythm Heaven. During a demo of Smash Run, the Rhythm Heaven Sneaky Spirit enemy was seen. Every other Smash Run enemy was either an original from Subspace, the Polar Bear from Ice Climbers who were known to have been cut due to the 3DS and in the past Smash games, or, of course, from a playable franchise. Rhythm Heaven would be the only series that has never been playable to be in Smash Run, besides Smash Originals. This not only helped the leak, but made many people pretty much convinced Rhythm Heaven was going to get a fighter, likely the chorus kids. Many people began to accept that it was inevitable at this point, even getting fan content, like a great fan animation by Kevin Fagarigan. We'll be talking about him plenty of times in the Ultimate section. Anyway, on July 11th, Sakurai said that they would stream the reveal of a new fighter in 3 days. The day before the reveal, Sal got an email saying, "Enjoy Shulk." The director of Xenoblade Chronicles even retweeted the announcement tweet, leading many to call this day Monado Monday. However, on the morning of, Sal got another email. The leaker claimed something more ambiguous that could imply they somehow knew Shulk wasn't going to reveal that day. "I only know what has been done, not what or when they will be made available. Sakurai may change his mind, and he does all the time. Shulk will not be changed. However, despite everything, on this day, the leak shattered. Shulk was not revealed. Instead, the revealed fighters were the veteran Captain Falcon, Lucina, and Robin. Chrom was outright deconfirmed in it as Robin's final smash. While Sakurai has never said a final smash cannot be a fighter, Chrom was shown to fall in battle, then say, "Perhaps I'll get my chance another day." Then it showed the final smash and said that day is now, heavily implying, basically outright confirming, Chrom would not be a playable fighter. People were split. Some said Chrom was an early idea and it was now Lucina and Robin, and some said the leak was fake to an extent, varying from Chrom being curveball leak bait, Chrom and chorus kids being leak bait, Chrom chorus kids and Shulk being leak bait, to some claiming everything since the initial batch was a guess or fake. The support for Rhythm Heaven was still there a little, some still wanting or expecting the chorus kids or any Rhythm Heaven character, guessing maybe just as we got an Awakening rep but it was not Chrom, perhaps we'll get a Rhythm Heaven rep but it isn't chorus kids. For example, a Japanese YouTuber who at the time was known as Blue Rain 544 but now goes by Kirisame Rain, who will also be important in the Ultimate section, made a fan trailer for Joe and the Wandering Samurai. Despite such a big leak, even if it was partially wrong, claiming the chorus kids and the fact that Sneaky Spirits were in Smash Run. On August 14th, 2014, someone on 4chan's V-board, known as the motherfucking leaker, claimed to work for the ESRB and leaked the roster. People debated over it for a while, but soon video footage came and at that point most were convinced. The said roster lacks the chorus kids, but indeed had Shulk, and alongside the leak released a list of veterans and an X over most who were not in the game, but a question mark over Mewtwo, implying possible DLC. Also, Ness was here and Lucas was not. Two last newcomers Gematsu never mentioned were also in. The dog and the bird from Duck Hunt teamed up, called just Duck Hunt, and Bowser Jr. from the Mario series. As images leaked, it was uncovered both Chorus Kids and Karate Joe had a trophy in the 3DS version. There was a brief rumor that the Wii U version would have a new mode, Tower of Smash, and playing the mode would allow you to connect with Smash or 3DS and unlock 5 bonus fighters, Dixie Kong, Mewtwo, Ridley, Impa, and the Chorus Kids. Even after being absent from the game, these little guys wouldn't disappear. When the game came out, it was discovered the Sneaky Spirits also had a trophy. The Wii U version came with trophies of Wrestler and Reporter in one, and Cam, Marshall, and Miss Ribbon also as one. So, Rhythm Heaven wasn't in. However, it did have a decent chunk of trophies, and notably was the only series never playable, and one of 2 series not playable in this entry, to have Smash Run content. Something odd was quite possibly going on with the rep, but what exactly? This was different from Animal Crossing and Brawl, because it had nothing that outright deconfirms the character, nor anything significant like a stage. Well, that question would be answered, kinda. As people began to delve deeper into Smash for Wii U's files, they found some stuff. It's quite likely that this was the main version things were developed on due to its power, and the Ice Climber supposedly fully running on it. Because of this, the Wii U had some content files missing from the 3DS version. These included data for a Dr. Mario stage, some unused names in the stage section of the code saying Diary, which could have been Swap Note. Plankton in the stage list could have meant Hannonbow was originally intended to come back. And in the fighter section, among names for series such as Mario, Pokemon, and etc. was Rhythm. I repeat, there is data for a fighter whose series would internally be called Rhythm. With the fact the only Rhythm games in Smash for Wii represented are Taiko as a taunt and Rhythm Heaven with 5 trophies and an enemy, and the fact that it very accurately claimed Rhythm Heaven, it can be essentially assumed that this was indeed Rhythm Heaven. With this, and the fact DLC was confirmed a few months later, talk of Rhythm came up now and then. The animator Kirisami Rain even made another animation claiming it to be a leak, or so the comments tell me. It's possible Omni just thought it was a leak. Some hope also sparked due to a new Rhythm Heaven game coming out during this time. But ultimately, nothing happened. Though it is worth noting that the Miiverse stage gave us 2 new Rhythm Heaven songs for seemingly no real reason. Really though, Chorus Kids and other reps were only really talked about and given attention by actual supporters during this DLC, not much in the terms of speculation. Examples of this included a bit of Smash Ballad attention and fan movesets, some by the aforementioned Kevin. Next was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, but before this next entry, Rhythm Heaven Mega Mix launched overseas, and it had 2 themes and some badge arcade representation. I first played the Rhythm Heaven series in December 2015, and while I likely had a desire to see Rhythm Heaven in Smash since then, though my first documented instance is January 2017, this was when I personally participated in Rhythm Heaven speculation. It's not quite as wild as Smash 4, but it does get pretty crazy, especially near the end, and I have more to say about it due to personal experience, so buckle up. On March 8, 2018, a Nintendo Direct aired. It was a pretty cool Direct, with things like Luigi's Mansion on 3DS, Undertale on Switch, and Splatoon 2 DLC. But the most memorable part was, of course, at the end. It showed the Inklings from Splatoon moving around, and then they saw the Smash logo. Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo Switch, 2018. Many people, including me, were very hyped, and almost immediately, my mind went to Rhythm Heaven. It had gotten a new game since, and Smash often adds many new series in each title. In the case of this one, with Splatoon checked off, the only real options were like ARMS, Golden Sun, Rhythm Heaven, other dormant series I guess, but the only series with recent major content were ARMS and Rhythm Heaven. I guess maybe Poyo or something, but overall, Rhythm Heaven made the most sense, especially since the timeline was a bit off for ARMS to get in. On pretty much the day of, I made a Smashboards thread advocating for the addition of Tibby, who I now would rank about third in who I'd want to represent the franchise. Oops. Also around this time, I joined the r/Rhythm Heaven Discord. Here, we talked about Smash a lot. During this era before E3, both Kirisami Rain and Kevin made new animations. Kirisami Rain showed Joe punching pots and such, then getting in and using a final smash. And Kevin showed a moveset of Joe with a chorus kit on his back. The Kirisami trailer got a fair few views, and Kevin's video got a fair few articles made of it, plus lots of retweets. Admittedly, some of these articles are from like September of that year, not March, but I digress. In terms of actual speculation, it seemed mixed. Many of the same detractors of how could it work or no one would care came up, but a fair few people, even many who had not played the series, felt it may be the time. The main expectation I saw was the chorus kids. If the rep was truly going to be the chorus kids, it's possible that it did not work last time. We know Ice Climbers were cut from Smash 4 because the 3DS couldn't handle them. If the representative was going to be the chorus kids, a trio of characters, potentially even a quartet if the conductor was involved, would it have been unable to work on a 3DS? The counter to this was the assumption that the character would be two-dimensional, but it's possible it was more of an engine issue than a model issue, and it's never been confirmed that a rep would be two-dimensional. There are 3D games in this series, and the on-the-battlefield WarioWare content in Smash is all in 3D. Not to mention, a new Rhythm Heaven had released since the last Smash game, and it was fairly close to when this one likely started development. A fair few early roster predictions featured Rhythm Heaven, but not as many as you might expect. Notably, Springman was on more, I'd say. Speculation continued on until E3. Going into this event, many felt we get a fair few characters. After all, the two E3s where Smash 4 was coming out revealed 3 characters each, and with the game set to come out this year, perhaps they'd have to consolidate it and have 5. That was some people's line of thinking anyway, and it was worth knowing that of the 2 batches, they had one more typical first-party character, one big third-party hit, and one wackier first-party. If this year followed a similar pattern, Rhythm Heaven could fit quite nicely into that last category. Then, E3 came around, and Smash Ultimate was fully unveiled. It was hype in terms of Smash, especially the aspect of every character being here, but there was a lack of Rhythm Heaven. On the positive side, it was not deconfirmed, unlike some other Smash hopeful editions, but only one fighter was revealed here, Ridley. While Ridley was very much an exciting addition, him being added, combined with Sakurai saying not to expect too many new fighters, made some feel it might not be happening. If we're only getting a few new fighters and they're spending their energy on characters like Ridley, that may show stuff like Rhythm Heaven is not a priority and is being pushed to the side. Still, it was fairly early in the cycle, so who knows. We learned at E3 that development planning started late 2015 and actual development began in early 2016, which lines up almost perfectly for Rhythm Heaven Megamix. Also, around this time, Kirisami Rain released another fan animation, and this one has gotten many views. It currently sits at about 3.9 million, which is more than any other fan trailer I've been able to find, with the exception of some obvious mean ones like Peppa Pig. Aside from this, many leaks appeared. I'm not going to go over every leak, not only because of my memory but the implausibility of that, but during the long drought between E3 and the next news dump, there were quite a few. A notable one was a riddle leak that showed a screenshot from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and had simple names for reveals, such as King and Ponytail. It also dated these announcements. In the section about characters who would not be revealed until after launch, Rhythm was a category. While some suggested it could be, for example, Neku, the general consensus was, if the leak was real, it was Rhythm Heaven. That being said, many doubted the leak. I'm not sure why it even picked up so much traction. That's just what 2 months of no info on a game meant to release in half a year does to you, I guess. After a while of nothing, at some point, Google had a listing that said the Nintendo Direct website had an update for August 3rd. This was the anniversary of Rhythm Tengoku. Many were hopeful. The day passed and nothing, but fairly soon after, we learned the Direct was coming, but on August 8th. The same logic was still thought of by many. The Direct aired, and once again, Rhythm Heaven was in limbo. Not announced as a fighter, but not announced as anything else either. Direct did, however, bring more talk of Rhythm Heaven. Most notably, Chrom was announced, albeit as an Echo fighter. Them reviving an idea from the Gematsu leak made many think of the Chorus Kids. Ditto was also a Pokeball, which was pitched in Melee, so overall, an idea of going back to old ideas made Rhythm Heaven come up a lot. Beyond this, during the King K. Rool reveal trailer, Donkey Kong was seen lounging in front of the TV, head resting on his arm, one foot crossed over the other, and scratching his butt. This reminded internet user The Corner Thief of Rhythm Heaven Fever's 7th remix, and it made him wonder if it could be a hint. He sent it to GameXplain, and they ended up making a video on it, sending speculation everywhere. It got articles, other videos, everything. Me and the fandom personally doubted this, and were even annoyed by it at first, but I've learned to see it in a much sillier light since. There was also a bit of detraction due to the two new fighters both being fairly popular, as well as Sakurai implying every stage was revealed, making it hard for a new series to be added. But most, including myself, assumed this meant that the remaining stages were all tied to fighters. This was later bolstered by a magazine claiming that there were 108 stages. It was later corrected, but many felt it was damage control, myself included. Before the next news batch, we, of course, got more leaks, but notably, a leak of fighter portraits that included the Chorus Kids. However, the leak pretty much died on the fact that Agnes was accented wrong. And when that was pointed out, the leaker claimed they got an updated build. Yeah, you have the game leaked and you get an update. Some speculation arose based on how General Directs often focus on more first-party type editions that aren't quite as big hype bombs, that this could be the time. But the Direct aired, and it was Isabelle from Animal Crossing. No news occurred for about 2 months, and the silence, closeness to release, a special box lineup in a way that has room for just 2 more fighters, and Sakurai saying there were only so many fighters left, made many feel it wasn't happening. This was when I began to lose hope, though I held on to the 108 stages thing. If they were going to add 5 new stages to this game, one of them had to be Rhythm Heaven. It just made sense. But even still, I was generally thinking that it wouldn't happen. But then, a bombshell dropped. October 24th, 2018, an image of the final Smash mural leaked. It had 7 unannounced fighters, including the Chorus Kids. They actually also were with the conductor, which, while I mentioned him earlier, he was almost never suggested to be with them. Many felt this was such an attention to detail that it had to be true, comparing it to the not speculated idea of Bowser occupying the clown car. The mural was tied to an Instagram account and a company, and the image of it showed unrevealed Grinch promotional art, earning the name The Grinch League. Some also call it the Banner League, but truthfully, I hate that name. Grinch League for life. I'm not going to go into the entire build-up to the leak, there are entire video series on that, but let's just say aside from relatively minor stuff like clouds in the background and people clinging onto the box lineup, nothing really went against it. One person posted a render of the Chorus Kids and a conductor holding a plate and a hot dog, saying it was traced. But this was baffling to anyone who knows basically anything about Rhythm Heaven, and was faked. Truthfully, this reminded me a lot of when people claimed the Duck Hunt render was a Photoshop of a Goofy render, but this was not true. Speaking of the art on the mural, the conductor had a red tie being pulled. While the box art very slightly shows a tie, the angle is in a way where its length is quite hard to tell. This had at a much longer length than you may expect from the box art. People quickly pointed out this length was pretty much on point with the rather obscure Rhythm Heaven DS comics. This also made many believe the leak was inevitably true. Honestly, this leak is some of the most fun I've ever had in terms of video game speculation. I know many look back on it sourly due to the end result, and I can somewhat understand that, but it makes me sad to be honest. It was such a blast to analyze, and the memes that came out of it, oh boy. After about 5 days of the leak circulating, Nintendo announced that a direct would air November 1st, and on that day, many woke up from a night of excitement, believing they were about to see the Chorus Kids in Smash for real. Rhythm Heaven was about to finally get the love it truly deserves. The direct began with Ken entering a ring. He was an Echo. This was expected from both the Grinch leak and another earlier leak showing Ken around other fighters, striking a thumbs up pose. Then, eyes appeared, and it was Incineroar. Somehow, this masterful leak was faked. Many will tell you, of course it was fake, it was so blurry, but there was so much more to it than that. The lining up of company dates, video takedowns, obscure details. I still cannot fathom how it was faked, frankly. I will say the fact it was fake makes me believe whoever made it was a big Rhythm Heaven fan, considering the tie. You could say they did their research, but it'd be so easy to have a similar angle, and many Rhythm Heaven fans I meet don't even know the comics exist, let alone people who aren't fans. The direct was mostly disappointing, but I and some others did not give up hope. At the time, I totally divorced from the engine issues theory and totally adopted, and as far as I can tell, pretty much crafted the theory that due to Sunkoop being in the hospital for most of 2015 and not really recovering till about a third through 2016, the timeline just didn't line up for them to converse about the addition in Ultimate. Not to mention, there was a shocking lack of content, in some areas anyway. While seeing Karate Joe, the Chorus Kids, Baxter and Forthington, and the Wrestler's Spirits hurt, for a series clearly once planned for Smash and of this caliber and popularity, the lack of an assist trophy was baffling. I mentioned how ARMS sold less, and you could probably make a recency argument for that at least, but the obscure Famicom Joy Mech fight got an assist trophy. Art Academy, which had its latest release as less recent than Megamix's localization, had an assist trophy, but no Rhythm Heaven? There were no Rhythm Heaven Mii costumes either, despite Chibi-Robo being far smaller than Rhythm Heaven in terms of sales. As the game was demoed and files leaked, we learned both songs from the Miiverse stage returned, alongside one song from Megamix being added in. But there was another big oddity. There were more Rhythm Heaven spirits than initially revealed, and after the spirit count was tallied up, we had a realization. Rhythm Heaven had the most spirits of any franchise without a playable rep. Even those with assist trophies, even those with stages. ARMS, which had an assist trophy and 2 Mii costumes, had 6 spirits. Golden Sun, which had an assist trophy, a Mii costume, and a much more vocal online fan base for getting into Smash, had 8 spirits. Rhythm Heaven, which had 0 assist trophies and 0 Mii costumes, not to mention no stage, though neither of the previous 2 did admittedly, had 9 spirits. 9. This is such an odd disparity. I suppose you could make an argument it was to make up for the lack of the other things, but like, they could have literally ripped a monkey hat from the Mii Plaza and slapped it on a Mii, but no. It's still so odd to me. But even if there was an odd content disparity, it was absent. Ultimate DLC is still ongoing, but overall it's been pretty dormant for Rhythm Heaven. There was a leak showing the chorus trio added, but it was fake, of course. I mean, I guess it could have predicted things nearly 3 years in advance if you want to stretch your mind, but come on. Chorus Trio. So many leaks get the names wrong. Gematsu leak called them Chorus Men, which had many people not in the know call them that, which is annoying enough as is, but at least it's their Japanese name. If an image leak showed that, fine, maybe it's real and from the Japanese build. But Choir Kids, Chorus Boys, Chorus Trio, it's the Chorus Kids or the Chorus Men. I also think if they got in, they might be called Glee Club based on their game, but a grand total of like 0 leaks call them that. Anyway, DLC started and just continued to be a third-party bonanza, making many think it would only be third-party. It may be worth noting a Rhythm Heaven X Smash Bros animation was uploaded, and while it focused mainly on Smash Bros, even having a part where it implied a character request and used it for Waluigi and not Rhythm Heaven, the video did get like 11 million views. I frankly feel Nintendo has to have seen this video. I mean, even Sunku retweeted it. But I doubt it made them suddenly want to add it to Smash if they didn't already. Kevin also made another animation, this one being the most detailed by far, though it detailed the barista, not a character many think of when they think of Rhythm Heaven and Smash. In a September Direct, as Fighter Pack 4 was announced, Sakurai announced more DLC was planned, and mentioned he wanted to focus on new worlds, all of which boded well for Rhythm Heaven. If I'm being honest, this newfound spark of hope is what made me write this at the time, though I shelved it and only revived it because of this overall Year of Rhythm Heaven thing. As Byleth was confirmed to be the final DLC of Pack 1, while many were upset, it showed third parties were far from off the table. The future felt brighter than ever. Arms being revealed to some felt like a blow, but to me and others felt like a hopeful beacon. We knew Sakurai wanted Arms in the base roster, why not revive another old idea? The reveal of it being Min Min and Sakurai's philosophy of everyone is the main character also probably killed the frankly always stupid argument that Rhythm Heaven shouldn't get a fighter simply because it has no clear protagonist. Before the next fighter, Kevin also uploaded a massive Rhythm Heaven Reanimated project, which currently sits at nearly 3 million views. Websites covered this a lot as well. The second fighter was Steve, and while he didn't really represent anything clearly, we learned he was planned as far back as 5 years ago. Both fighters were previously planned additions. Sound familiar? Then, the next reveal happened. Sephiroth. Them adding Sephiroth over Geno basically killed this logic. Yes, I get it is still a pattern for some, but if they were focusing entirely on filling out their past ideas checklist, Geno would be playable. Overall, this made me lose most hope, but I still had 1 or 2 aces up my sleeve. For one, I felt another first party was inevitable, though I suppose it could be like a Pokemon. However, this one was dashed just the day before writing this sentence, as Pyra and Mythra were announced. First parties. Xenoblade 2 getting in before Rhythm Heaven is frankly kind of ironic, as I have often joked with friends about how entitled people saying Rex was robbed are, when they already have a rep, many songs, a stage, assist trophies, etc., even making memes. I should absolutely clarify I am totally fine with the addition, and if you wanted them, I am happy for you. It's not just you either. We see it with Kirby fans and Modern Kirby, some Xenoblade fans with Xenoblade X, a small chunk of Pokemon fans for certain generations. To me, it's been like, I'd be fine with any of those editions. Like I said, I am happy for Xenoblade 2 fans, and I have no ill will towards this edition. But at the end of the day, well, you guys feel like you're so underrepresented. As a Rhythm Heaven fan, I frankly feel it's incredibly lucky to even get a single character. But with this, I have seen some shifting the logic from it being scrapped characters outright to more so underrepresented ideas. ARMS and Xenoblade 2 are both popular games today and deserve a representative for that. Minecraft having nothing with Microsoft being on board would be crazy. And while Geno should be a fighter in my eyes, Super Mario RPG doesn't have some grand ties to Nintendo that makes his absence feel wrong in the same way. I'd rather have had Geno than Sephiroth, but it's sadly not really comparable to ARMS or Xenoblade 2. And Sephiroth fills a void of his own, the void of Final Fantasy, a humongous series, especially in the East, having pretty shitty representation in Smash, even if having a fighter, prior to Sephiroth's addition, that is. Perhaps another void to fill could be Rhythm Heaven? but it's probably more comparable to Geno, though it has had 4 games and Smash has had piss poor rhythm game representation in general, so maybe. But before going on this Xenoblade rant, I said there were 2 things, one of which, first party, which may be hurt now, but could maybe be replaced with the Void thing. But the other is, ironically, using Rhythm Heaven's niche Smash status to its advantage. You see, every Smash cycle, I see people assume that the roster will end on a big bang. That literally never happens. Let's go through history. The last Brawl character officially revealed before release, Sheik, and the last newcomer, Olimar. The last Smash 4 character revealed before release of the 3DS game, Shulk, and before Wii U, Duck Hunt. Last DLC revealed was Bayonetta. I will admit, compared to others, Bayonetta is exciting in terms of raw fandom appeal anyway. I actually like Duck Hunt more, but I'm weird. Even still, Bayonetta pales in comparison to many DLC fighters revealed before her. Ultimate, as we discussed, had the last reveal as Incineroar, and Fighter Pass 1 had Violet. Based on this pattern, I expect Fighter Pack 10 will be revealed at E3. I expect it to be Crash Bandicoot, but who knows. It is, however, very likely to be a third party. Fighter Pack 11, as such, will be less exciting than the E3 reveal, and Steve, and probably even Sephiroth. Maybe even less than Min Min and or Pyra, but that gets more subjective. You know a fighter they could add that the fandom would unanimously find less hype than Sephiroth, Steve, and Crash Bandicoot or Dante or Phoenix Wright or whoever, and a large chunk would likely find less hype than Pyra or perhaps even Min Min? A Rhythm Heaven rep. Yeah, admittedly I don't love this outcome because it means the salt that would already come would be amplified, but I mean, guys, I've been waiting for this for so long. I literally spent like 150 hours in 2018 and 19 dedicated to talking about it and envisioning it, and like half of that with one specific friend of mine. I'll take what I can get. At this point, a part of me would just be excited to see a Mii costume, though it would sting somewhat for sure. It's to the point that, due to me losing interest in Smash in general around the time, I have not bought the Fighters Pass 2, and I will not buy it until it's over or Rhythm Heaven is revealed to be in it. If Rhythm Heaven is in, I will buy each pack individually to give them a tad extra bit of cash. But overall, do I expect Rhythm Heaven to be playable in Smash Ultimate by the end of DLC? No, I do not. But I see so many people act as if it's a surefire 100% not happening, as if there is a 0% chance. And that to me is frankly silly. It absolutely could happen. You never know what will happen when that cross appears.